Hey, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. It's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, Bahashem meaning in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And I had a couple things I wanted to hit on. And all this is alluding to the fact that we're coming down to the days where the prophecies are hitting home. In the last major prophecy, which is the MOTB, that whole system, the move for that is being hastened, right, on the left-hand side. Right? That is being moved and hastened. And we're in the days now where you get to see it about to come to pass. Right? This is why in Sirach, the 39th chapter, in the first verse, it says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies." You see, you're going to be occupied in prophecies, meaning your mind is going to be stayed to, oh, this is linking to that. You always constantly look at something, and it's bringing it back. Another article here, another bit of information here, a video watched a couple months ago there, and it's all tying in to let you know, like, yo, this is it. This is it. This is obviously that time we've been waiting on. This is obviously the time where the Lord is going to start letting these prophecies fully speak and come to fruition. Because when you go to, I think it's, what is it? Ezekiel, the 12th chapter, I think. This is Ezekiel 12 and 22. It says, "Son of man, what is that proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying the days are prolonged and every vision faileth?" Right? Because Jake is really moved in a fashion like he thinks that he has all the time in the world. Like he thinks he has all the time in the world. You don't. And in every vision faileth, right? The days are prolonged and every vision faileth. They think that, you know, these prophecies ain't gonna hit. That's why you got Israelite camps trying to sit here and buck up against the breakdown of MOTB, where we've gone ad nauseum through the Spirit, through the elders and apostles first, and on down, going into the words, going into the technology. I mean, the algos, the elder Ariala and the elder Rakaya Kwam in the UK do, go in such detail that you can't even deny it. And now these things are pushing forward, and the monetary system is about to fail. And I got that video to go into it, but this is a point that the elder Rakaya Kwam made in some of those algo videos, and I agree with it but we'll get into it, man. Let me read this. "Tell them, therefore, thus said Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision." And that's where we're at. The days are at hand. The effect of every vision is here, right? And those prophecies are loud as hell now, man. I think I saved something on mine. Yeah. It says, "For there shall no more be any vain, for there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel," right? How long was it that you had Jake constantly talking about, oh, we gonna build this school? Hey man, those aspirations, those are gone. Economy's fucked. You can't build shit. And then when they couldn't build, what did they turn? They turned to debating, trying to become Israelite celebrities, all that jazz. You got a vain vision of what's to come. You're supposed to be hastening to flee, getting these prophecies, getting the sheep's mind right, and get your mind right at the same time. It says, verse 24, "For I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I speak that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall no more be prolonged, for the days are at hand. O rebellious house, I will say a word and will perform it, said Yahweh. And this is what this lesson is getting to. The Lord is starting to perform all his works. Now I'm going to start off with this video, right? Now listen to what's said.
We are in the end stage right now for the U.S. dollar. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of top economists who are admitting that the U.S. is out of options. They've run all the plans. They've tried all of the strategies, and they've now failed. More on that part in a second. But first, no one in the corporate media, the legacy media...
You see? They tried all the plans. They ran out of strategies, but nothing's working. So they've been trying to troubleshoot the fixes. If you have a computer, right? If you have a computer, you don't just buy a new computer once an issue pops up, right? You troubleshoot the issue. You try to fix it first, right? You try to reboot the computer. That doesn't work. Clear cookies and cache, right? You reset. You delete programs and reload them, right? And that's what America's been doing. They've been doing the quantitative easing, bank bailouts. They did the stimulus checks, right? They've tried to start the economy. They've messed with the interest rates. They've tried to, lessen the blow of inflation by increasing interest rates at a periodic stage. They've done everything to try to get this system to work, right? So now the justification for bringing in a new system is about to come in. And that's something that the elder required Kwame said, and I could not but fucking agree with it. It only makes sense, right? It only makes sense. They had to come in with a new system because the old one was failing. And they've done everything they could. They've shown that they've done everything they could. So right now, what do you have happening at the same time as these statements being made? Well, at the same time those statements are being made, you have stuff like this. It says new BRICS currency has officially been unveiled at the BRICS summit in Russia. Now, whether or not these statements are true, let me look real quick, man. And it's looking like the statements might be true. It's looking like the statements might be true, and well, that'll be another lesson. But it's saying new BRICS currency has officially been unveiled at the BRICS summit in Russia. And right here, I took a screenshot of this, right? Yeah, look at it. There's all those countries coming in one. Got all those countries because they're coming up with that new one world governing system. And Russia is trying to be the head of that. Right? It's a Edomite nation trying to be ahead of that still. Even though in their eyes, everybody's going to have an equal part of the pie. But this is no more than a new form, the new monetary digital form of a Tower of Babel. Because all these nations are coming together and doing this. And they're getting ready to take out America out of it. But that's all prophecy. And why? Why? Well, let's get this. Into Jeremiah 51. Let's get it here. And 44. It says, and I will punish Baal in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he had swallowed up, and the nations shall not flow together any more unto him. Yeah, the wall of Babylon shall fall, and this is the beginning of those nations no longer flowing unto America. And this is why the system even is going to collapse even more. When you talk about America, none of these nations dealing with the American dollar anymore. Coming up with a whole new standard, talking about it's going to be 40% backed by gold. And the American dollar is only backed by the American military. How can that system and that state stand? They have to automatically come up with something new. Something that's going to divert the world governing system to it. And they're going to come out with that digital currency. And this is how America's going to try to stay in the game, even though it's still building into their plan for that one world order, right? This is all prophecies happening. And so you have a digital system. You got the phasing out of the American dollar, the failing of the correction plans for the American dollar to be healthy again. Like the scriptures say, we would have healed Babylon. This is Jeremiah 51 and 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand. It says that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And this is why you think they're coming up with a whole new system outside of the American dollar, because they're seeing that they have to get away with it. This away from it. They see all the sanctions. They see that America uses its monetary system in order to punish nations. They'll sit here and shut entire nations' medical fields down by sanctions and be like, okay, well, if y'all don't want to do business our way, here's a sanction for you. You can't use our money. That's the global standard for being able to trade and buy. And what happens to people in hospitals, everything like that, they can't get those life-saving medicines. So these countries are pissed. Right? Every time they look up, these devils are sitting there putting them in hell. Right? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And the balm for those pains have been all these right, troubleshooting attempts to correct the economy, to correct the American dollar to be in a position to govern the world, right? Quantitative easing, like I said, messing with the interest rates multiple times, printing more bonds and selling them to foreign nations. This is why Japan's market is messed up, because they oversaturated their economy in the U.S. bonds, right? It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up into the sky. So everybody's going to start leaving this place. And that starts off with that American dollar being ditched, and that's through BRICS. So this is prophecy, right? And now, how does all of this tie into the MOTB? Well, what you have to understand is that there's a reason and there's a way they want to manage that system, right? They talk about universal basic income. They talk about, being able to quantify all goods and services, everything out there. And that's where these implantable C-hips come in, the MOTB, right? And I'm going to get that scripture first, right? This is, I'll get it in a blue letter because I got to go through those words. Revelation 13, and it says, 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image is basically the system, right? And who is the beast? Well, that beast, right? It's talking about a nation, right? Because when you go to the breakdown in Daniel, let's get that over here. Yeah, Daniel 7 and 23 says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, right? So the beast is really just talking about a kingdom, a nation, a rulership, right? So back in that Revelation 13 and 15, it says, unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark or a charagma. We're going to go into that word in their right hand or their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Because they're phasing out that American dollar. They might unveil a currency that looks like paper, but we're phasing out of the paper currency age, right? That's long gone. So when you go into that word mark in Revelation 13 and 16, this is the word charagma, right? Charagma in the Greek. And this is why when you go back into the prologue for Sirach, is why you have to go into words. Sirach 1 and 1. And this is the prologue. It says, here it is. If you look at the top of the screen, it says, wherefore let them entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew, translated into another tongue, have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself, and the prophets, talking about the prophecies, and the rest of the books, have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. So there's no small difference. It's a large difference when you actually start going into these words in the language that they were written in, right? Because the people in that time knew what they were talking. They knew the word choice. They understood the word choices they were using. So to get the full understanding, you got to go back into the original tongues. Now, this word charagma, it goes into the stamp and imprinted mark, right? The mark branded upon horses. And these C-hips, like this article we're going to get into, and it says, thought to text chip smaller than Neuralink achieves 91% accuracy. That's showing you that the perfection of that prophecy is coming to the end, because it's at 91%. 91% accuracy. That means if this is at 91%, imagine the rest of the goals and plans that go along with making this thing mandatory. Right? A thing carved, sculpted, graven work, right? So they're going to cut into you. Now, when you go into the root word, just like when they put them C-hips in you, what do they do when they do the brain chips? They got to cut into you. What do they do when they do it with the syringe and place it into your hand? They have to cut into you. That's the graving and etching, right? The root word for charagma is charax. And it goes to a sharpen, to a point, a keen, through the idea of scratching, right? A pell or stake, palisade, a rampart going into the delivery system. So John, the Revelator, when he was given the visions of the things to come, he was seeing them put and cut into people with a palisade, right? Going into that large gauge hypodermic needle, cut into people, right? And now you go to the next word, and after they were cut into, they were given access to that system that had perfect recording, right? It says this is the root word for charax, because charagma is actually a compound word, and that word is grapho, right? It's just to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate on or form letters on a tablet, parchment, or paper. It says write with reference to the contents of writing, to write, express in written characters, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down or record. And this whole system is meant to be able to perfectly track all information, all bodies, all resources, right? Now it says the brain chip interface race is on. While Elon Musk's Neuralink has garnered most of the headlines in the field, a new small and thin chip out of Switzerland makes it look downright chunky, By comparison, it also works impressively well. The chip has been developed by researchers at École Polytechnique, Fédérale de Lausanne. That's a fucking long name. Niggas need to rebrand. It says it represents a leap forward in the sizzling space of brain-machine interfaces. Devices that are able to read activity in the brain and translate it into real-world output, such as text on a screen. That's because this particular device, known as mini authorized brain-machine interface, is extremely small, consisting of 2 thin chips measuring at 8 millimeters square total. By comparison, Elon Musk's Neuralink clocks in at a comparatively gargantuan size of about 23 times 8 millimeters, right? So basically, it's just going to how they've been able to basically perfect this technology to be ready to pull it out soon. Because we're coming down to the time where they're going to push this on the people. And like it says, he's going to cause all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive it. And if you don't receive it, right? Verse 17, it says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. If you don't receive it, if you don't talk part of that system, you'll be under threat of death. Because here it is, they're going to tell you, oh, well, we can't give this to you if we can't confirm who you are, right? They'll put you out of cities. They'll put you out of common places, lose your job. I mean, look what happened in China when they came out with the social engineering, the social scoring system. It was made a normal thing to publicly shame people for personal issues. Ostracize entire communities to the point where the whole nation's coming after one nigga they don't know, that got into the situation that anybody else could get into. These devils are getting ready to push this type of system. And this is a very serious time, man. The prophecies are rolling forward. This is why the Lord said, strengthen those things. This is Revelation 3 and 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before me. So we got to strengthen those things that remain. And you got camps not even giving a warning, right? They're dumb dogs that aren't barking, right? This is Isaiah 56 and 5. It says 56 and 10, Slakia. His watchmen are blind, they are ignorant, they are dumb dogs that cannot bark, sleeping, laying down, loving the slumber. Jake is in their own shit. While these big time prophecies are coming to pass, it says, yeah, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. It says, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. And a lot of these dudes that pop up claiming to be something in Israel, they're dumb dogs that they don't even understand how we came to the point of this, because they refuse to go into words. They refuse to go into the research. And they refuse the spirit. At the end of the day, the Lord is not working with them. It says they all look to their own way, every man for his own gain from his quarter. And a lot of them just sold out. Because the amount of information bros have brought out on this at this point, you can't deny this. You cannot deny this, man. We supposed to be standing in it. Stand it. This is Ezekiel 13 and 4. It says, O Israel, thy prophets are like foxes in the desert. You have not gone into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the day of battle, stand in the battle in the day of Yahweh. Because they're not going into these things and breaking them down so Jake can clearly get it. We're not set up to give a people parables and dark sayings. We're set up to what? Make these things plain in everything, in all judgment. Right? That's how you show real love. You make the things excessively plain. But these dudes, man, they're not making the people ready for this day to come, because you're gonna have to stand on business soon. Real business. You're gonna have to stand on faith, knowing these things, so that you can be prepared. But Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm gonna say, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Al Shai Bashim Shalom.